to day 39 of my 6th annual SLAP challenge. SLAP, S-L-A-P, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every single day except Sundays for 40 days. And this is day 39, which means that really this is our last workout of the entire challenge. We are doing a workout tomorrow, but all we're going to do tomorrow is repeat the workout that we did on day 1 of the challenge. We're going to do 40 air squats, 40 reverse lunges, alternating sides with each rep, so 40 total lunges, and then 40 sit-ups, and then 40 standard push-ups, either from your toes or from your knees. And that's it. We're gonna time ourselves, and we are going to compare our scores for tomorrow's workout with our scores for our day 1 workout so that we can see how much we have improved over the course of the challenge. So that's tomorrow. For today, I'm going to very quickly show you what we're doing for this workout because, again, I have 0 time, so it's not going to be a super in-depth tutorial today. I have to keep it really short because this is just a crazy busy week for me. But before we get into the tutorial, I just want to talk a little bit about what the challenge is, how it works, why we're doing it, how you can participate, and how you can modify and make changes to make the challenge work for you, and where to begin. Of course, you do not have to join the challenge. If you just want to do this workout with me today, that is fantastic. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. But if this is the first you are hearing of the challenge, first of all, even though this is day 39 of a 40-day challenge, let me just reassure you that it is not too late to join the challenge. It is never too late to join the challenge, and here's why. Even if you just do today's workout and tomorrow's workout with me, that's 2 days of a 40-day challenge. You know what? If that's all you do of the challenge, that's great. It is better to do something than nothing. So I would rather have you do the final 2 days of the challenge than no days of the challenge. So if you just want to do these last 2 days of me, great. Welcome aboard. I am happy that you are joining us for this 6th year in a row that I'm doing this challenge. If you do want to go back to the beginning and start on day 1 of the challenge, that is recommended. I did design this to be a 40-day challenge. So let me begin by telling you that there is a playlist for this challenge. I'm going to link the playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of the video as well, just to make sure that you can't miss it. So click on that link and save the playlist. Even if you are undecided whether or not you want to join the challenge, save the playlist so that when and if you decide you want to do the challenge, you have all the workouts readily available to you. And then just begin by watching that day 1 video. The video that I shared on day 1 explains everything you need to know about exactly what the challenge is and how it works, why we're doing it, who's Brutus, and why are we slapping him with these squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups every day, how to participate, where to begin. All of that information is in the video that I shared on day 1. And in that day 1 video, I also spent a long time going over in great detail how to do your squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups with the correct form. And I also provided tons of beginner modifications that I absolutely promise you can do. Because this year I am going out of my way to make sure that the challenge is accessible to day 1 beginners. So if you have never done a workout before in your entire life, you are in the right place. I promise that you can do this challenge. Even if you think you can't do a single squat or a single push-up, yes, you can. You can do squats, you can do lunges, you can do abs, you can do push-ups, and you can do this challenge. So watch that day 1 video. Give me a chance to convince you that you can do this. And then once you have decided that you want to participate, all you have to do is decide to what degree you are capable of participating. Because if you are an absolute beginner and you can't commit to doing 160 reps every day, then that's fine. If you make the commitment to do the challenge, you're the one doing it. It's your challenge. So you do it in any way that works for you. If 160 reps every single day is too many reps for you, then can you commit to doing 80 reps every day? That would be 20 squats, 20 lunges, 20 reps of an ab exercise, and 20 push-ups every day. So if you can't commit to doing 80 reps of everything every day, maybe you can commit to doing 40 reps. Or not 80 reps of everything, but 80 total reps. Maybe you can commit to doing 40 total reps. That would be just 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of abs, and 10 push-ups. All right, I have a few people who are doing the challenge that way. They're doing the challenge with me, but instead of doing 40 reps of every exercise every day, they're doing 30 reps or 20 reps or 15 reps. All right, so if you can't commit to doing a 40-day long challenge, maybe you can commit to doing the first 20 days of the challenge. If you can't commit to working out 6 days with me every single week, maybe you can commit to working out with me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday of every week. All right, it's very easy to customize this challenge to make it work for you. So be realistic with yourself and decide to what degree you are capable of participating, and then make the commitment to participate to that degree. And remember that I am right here to help, okay? So watch the day one video, and then once you understand what the challenge is and you decide that you want to participate, decide to what degree you want to participate, and then make the commitment. And remember that if you have any questions or if you need help along the way, that I'm not just working out with you every single day, I'm also here to answer your questions and provide guidance. I am here to encourage you and support you every step of the way. I'm here to help provide motivation if that's what you need. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. And then if you want to start the challenge on day one, just make sure that you start with your day one workout on a Wednesday. As long as you start with your day one workout on a Wednesday, all you have to do is follow along with the playlist, and everything will fall into place for you, okay? I've made it super easy to follow along, but again, please just ask questions if you have them. But that's the challenge in a nutshell. Now, if you are more advanced, then the workouts we're doing this year are not going to challenge you very much. So if you want to do this challenge, but you want workouts that are a little bit more difficult, that are really, really going to challenge you, I'm going to recommend that you follow along with last year's playlist, and I will link that playlist up here in the iCard as well. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of the video. So last year was my 5th year in a row doing the challenge. It was the exact same challenge. We were doing at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every single day except Sundays for 40 days. But the workouts that we were doing last year for the challenge were much more difficult. First of all, they were generally much longer because we were frequently doing more than just those 160 reps. But we were also doing more advanced versions of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. And for a lot of the workouts, we were adding weight, and I was also incorporating about 20 or so minutes of moderate paced cardio into most of the workouts as well, right into the workout. So if that sounds like something that is more your speed, then definitely click on the link for last year's playlist, save the playlist, but save this year's playlist as well, because even if you're in great shape and you're super strong and you're really advanced, and you're capable of doing the more difficult workouts that we did last year, the workouts we're doing this year for the challenge, these are still great workouts. They're just a lot shorter and kind of more simple. So if you're really pressed for time, like I am today, like I am every day this week, then if you're in great shape, you are going to be able to do most of the workouts that we're doing this year for the challenge in under 10 minutes. So if you have 0 time today, but you still want to fulfill your obligation to participate in the challenge, you could choose one of the workouts that we're doing this year and probably finish it in under 10 minutes. Get your reps out of the way. That's a great option to have. Also this year, because I am focusing on beginners and making sure that the workouts are accessible to beginners, I have been assuming that most beginners do not own fitness equipment. So I have been going out of my way to avoid using any type of fitness equipment. We are adding weight today, but I'm using a shampoo and a conditioner bottle. So I've been using household items if I want to add weight, but I'm always providing equipment-free substitutions. So you can take any single one of these workouts and do it with absolutely no equipment whatsoever. So if you are traveling, let's say, and you're staying at a hotel or an Airbnb and you don't have access to fitness equipment, then one of the workouts we're doing this year is going to be perfect. Short, simple little body weight workout. You can bust out your reps in 10 minutes. Or maybe you have something else planned for today, like a long bike ride or a long run or an intense hike. Well, one of these short little body weight workouts can make a great warm up for something like that. Or if you just feel like taking your workout to the park today or the beach, and you don't want to be lugging along like dumbbells or a kettlebell or a big sandbag or something like that, then you have these body weight options that you can do if you want to do something like that today. So save both playlists, and then you can just kind of bounce back and forth between the playlists. You don't have to stick with one playlist or the other. And even if you're sticking with one playlist, you don't have to go in order. You know, I'm giving a new workout, I'm sharing a new workout with you every single day. And when you look at the playlist, all of the workouts are numbered days 1 through 40. So obviously that's how I'm doing the challenge, and you can absolutely do the challenge that way. But just remember, if you're doing it, it's your challenge. So do it in whatever way works for you. You can do any workout on any given day as long as you're getting your reps done. It doesn't matter how you get them done. So it doesn't matter which playlist you're working off of. It doesn't matter which workout you choose. It doesn't even matter if it's one of my workouts. You can do any workout you want. You can write your own workout as long as the workout contains at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups. You're good. And you don't even have to do a structured workout if you don't want to, if you don't have time, or maybe if you are a beginner and it's still too difficult for you to do all of your reps at once, you can spread out your reps throughout the day. So you could get up in the morning and do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of any ab exercise you want, and 10 push-ups. It can be any variation of those 4 exercises you want. And then you can just repeat that 3 more times throughout the course of your day. So maybe you could do it again after lunch, you could do it again after you get home from work, and then once more before bed. There's your 160 reps. And also remember that if you are working out along with the videos, that you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. So if, let's say for example, you like today's workout, you like the format, and you want to work out along with the video, but you can't do the push-up variation I'm doing, or you can't do the squat variation I'm doing, just swap it out with any other version of that exercise you want. All right, that's why it's so easy to customize this challenge and really, really make it work for you. So as long as you're getting your 160 reps done every day, or your 80 reps or your 40 reps done every other day or twice a week, whatever you have committed to, as long as you're following through and getting your reps done, it doesn't matter which variation of these exercises you do. It doesn't matter whether or not you incorporate them into a structured workout or whether you spread them out throughout the course of your day. It doesn't matter how you do them, when you do them, as long as you get them done. Okay? So that's how the challenge works. We gotta go ahead and get into this brief, hopefully brief little tutorial, because you guys, I'm just so busy this week. I'm so busy and I do not have time to do a long drawn out tutorial. So if you are a super duper beginner, you may have questions about some of the exercises that we're doing today, because I am not going to have time to go into as much detail as I normally would. So again, another reminder, if you have questions or if you need help, I'm right here, okay? So ask if you need help. But you might want to check out one of the workouts that we did earlier in the challenge, where I did have time to go into a bit more detail. It's just really important that you understand what you're doing before you begin the workout. So I'm going to demonstrate and explain each of these 4 exercises that we're doing today as briefly as I can. And then if you have any questions after you've watched the tutorial, if you have any questions about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications beyond what I'm providing in the video, please, 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 please ask, okay? I'm always happy to make time to help if you're a beginner and you need help, okay? So let's go ahead and start with our push-up variation, because I'm actually going to be starting with push-ups today. So I'm going to be doing commando push-ups. I'm gonna add a little knee tuck with my push-up, and then I'm going to do a chest lift. There was one other workout that we did this year where we did commando push-ups, and I don't remember which day it was, but if you have been following the challenge since day 1, you may remember seeing this exercise. So it looks like it's an easy push-up variation, but it's actually pretty difficult. So remember that if you cannot do this, you can substitute with any push-up variation you want. So what I'm going to be doing, what I call a commando push-up, if you like Google what's a commando push-up, you're gonna see a lot of different interpretations, a lot of different definitions of what is a commando push-up. But when I say commando push-up, this is what I'm talking about. So you are going to come all the way down onto your mat, onto your belly, and then you are going to lift up your hands and lift up your feet, just a couple of inches off of the ground. All right, so that's why I said it looks easy, because like, so far it's pretty easy, right? But here's the hard part. We're gonna push ourselves up. So what you're going to do is place your hands on the mat, right next to your shoulders, curl your toes under, and now you're going to push yourself up so that you're in a plank position, but here's where it gets tricky. What's going to tend to happen if you lack the strength to push your body up in one straight line is that you're going to push your chest, your shoulders and your chest up first. Your back is going to be arched, and then you're going to lift your hips, your belly, and then your hips off the mat, probably have your knees down, and then finally come up. That's not the movement. That's not a push-up, okay? That's something else. So what you want to do is imagine as though your body is like a plank of wood, and as it's lying flat on the ground, and you're just lifting it straight up. Okay, so not this kind of motion, you're not kind of snaking up, but from your heels to your shoulders should be like a plank of wood, and all you're doing is lifting it straight up. So the goal is to have your body in one perfectly straight line as you push yourself up, and then one perfectly straight line as you lower your body back down all the way down to the mat. Okay, so it's actually really difficult, requires a lot of upper body strength and a ton of core strength, okay? So it looks like this. So I'm down here on my belly, lifting my hands, lifting the feet, and I'm gonna place the hands down on my mat, curl the toes under, tighten up those abs, squeeze your elbows in towards your rib cage, and then press, spread out all 10 fingers, and press into the ground. Press the ground away from you. Make sure your entire body is super strong and tight and engaged. Every muscle in your body should be engaged. And then keeping your entire body in one straight line from your heels to your shoulders, you're going to push yourself straight up like that. Okay, and now here I'm gonna add a little knee tuck. So I'm just gonna tuck one knee in towards my chest and then put it back. And then I'm gonna lower myself back down. And again, I wanna keep my body in one straight line from my heels to my shoulders all the way down until my chest and then my belly hits the mat. And then I'm gonna pick up my hands, pick up my feet, okay? So that's a commando push-up. It is a difficult push-up variation. So if you want to substitute with something else, you can do any push-up variation you want. Just remember with your push-ups that you want to make sure your head is in line with your spine. So if you imagine you're standing with your back up against the wall, imagine just lightly pressing the back of your head into the wall. That's where you want your head to be. Perfectly up and down, in line with your spine. So you want to maintain that head position while you are in your plank position. So as you're here in your plank position, whatever push-up variation you're going to do, you want to make sure you're not allowing your head to drop like this. You do not need to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck and jutting your chin out. You just want your head in line with your spine, okay? So this position, standing up against the wall, maintain that the entire time, okay? So head in line with the spine as you're down in your plank, and then make sure your head stays still while you're doing the push-ups. It's very common that people will allow their head to kind of bob up and down. So that's your first bullet point. You want your head in line with your spine, and then you want to make sure your head stays still. All right? And then the next bullet point, there's 3 main things that you want to keep in mind while you're doing your push-ups. The second one is that you want your shoulders away from your ears. So what that means is that when you're here in your plank position, it's very common that people will, especially when they start to get fatigued, they'll start to kind of sink down into their shoulders like this. So in order to fix that, again, you want to spread out all 10 fingers as wide as you can so that your weight is as evenly distributed as possible. And then you want to visualize actually pressing the ground away from you. Imagine if you really have the ability to press the ground away. That's what you want to have in your head. All right, so when you do that, you're gonna go from here, watch my shoulders, see how they're hunched up by my ears right now? When I press the ground away from me, Now I'm up here, nice and high in my plank. My shoulders are away from my ears. That's what you want. Okay, so that's your second bullet point. Just going over general form for any push-up variation you want to do. Just make sure you apply these 3 principles. So recap, bullet point number 1, head in line with the spine. Make sure your head stays still. Bullet point number 2, shoulders away from the ears. So that means spread out your fingers, press the ground away from you. Bullet point number 3, flat back. So that means that you don't want to allow your hips or your belly to kind of droop down towards the mat like this. That's causing an arch in my back. We want a flat back. So what you're gonna do is tighten up your abs, super, super, super tight. As tight as you can, like someone's about to come along and punch you in the stomach and you're bracing for that impact. That is how engaged your abs should be. And then what you're going to do is use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them lifted high. So when I say keep them lifted high, what I mean is that the goal for your push-up, you're gonna bend your elbows and your goal is to touch your chest to the mat. But you may not be able to touch your chest to the mat. And if you are unable to get your chest all the way down to the mat, the temptation is going to be to do this. You're going to want to do one of 2 things. So the first thing that you might be tempted to do, you're going to bend your elbows or your chest down to the mat. Now, if you can't get your chest all the way down to the mat, you're going to be tempted to lower your hips or your belly down to the mat. So that's why I say lift the hips high and keep them lifted high. All right, so at no point do you want to break that straight line from your heels to your shoulders by arching your back in order to lower your hips or your belly down to the mat, because you're trying to compensate for the fact that you can't get your chest all the way down to the mat. All right, the other really common mistake, the other thing you're going to be tempted to do if you're unable to get your chest all the way down to the mat is to lower your forehead down to the mat, okay? It is an extremely common mistake. And I think that most of the times, if not all of the times that people are doing that, they don't even realize that they're doing it. I think it is done on a subconscious level because you're just trying so hard to get all the way down. And so if you can't get your chest all the way down, I think a lot of people, they lower their forehead down to the mat just to kind of trick themselves into thinking they're getting all the way down. But again, you want your head in line with your spine and you want your head to stay still. So don't bob your head up and down. Your forehead should never touch the mat. If you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, that's fine. That's your goal. That's what you're working towards, but you may not get there today. You may not get there by the end of the summer. You may not get there for another year, but it's what you're working towards. But your objective is to keep your body in one straight line from your heels to your shoulders. So you want to lower your chest all the way down to the mat, but not at the expense of your objective. You want to lower your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line from your heels to your shoulders, okay? So if you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, you have 2 options. Option number 1, put your knees down and do knee push-ups. Option number 2, shorten up your range of motion. So again, your objective is to keep your body in one straight line from your heels to your shoulders. You're trying to lower your chest all the way down to the mat, but without breaking that straight line. So if you can only come down this close to the mat with your chest without breaking that straight line from your heels to your shoulders, that's fine. And you're gonna stop here. You're going to press yourself back up, and that's your push-up, so you can shorten up your range of motion. And of course, the other thing you can do is just put your knees down and do knee push-ups. Knee push-ups are the exact same exercise. Literally the only difference is that instead of your straight line being from your heels to your shoulders, your straight line is now from your knees to your shoulders. Other than that, same bullet points, same exercise. So spread out all 10 fingers. Place your hands on the mat directly underneath your shoulders. Step your feet back so that you're in a plank position. Now, right where they are, just put your knees down on the mat. Make sure your head is in line with your spine. You're not allowing your head to drop down like this. You're not overcorrecting by hyperextending your neck. Head is in line with the spine, and remember, it's going to stay there. You're going to keep your head still. Your shoulders are away from your ears, so you're not sinking down into your shoulders like this. Your shoulders aren't hunched up by the ears. You're spreading out those fingers, pressing the mat away from you, pushing yourself up as high as you can in this plank position, and your back is flat. So you are not allowing your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat like this. With an arched back, you're tightening up those abs super tight. You're using your ab muscles to lift your hips high, and you're gonna keep them lifted nice and high. And once you've found this position, nothing moves. So you're going to bend your elbows and lower your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. So again, your goal is to get your chest all the way down to the mat and then press the ground away from you to push yourself back up. But your objective is to maintain that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. So again, if you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, do not compensate for that by lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat. Do not compensate for the fact that you cannot get your chest all the way down by lowering your forehead down to the mat, okay? Just shorten up your range of motion. So get your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. And once you've gotten to that point, press the ground away from you, push yourself back up and return to your starting position. And that's your push-up. It is fine to shorten up your range of motion. It is not fine to sacrifice your form for the sake of getting your chest all the way down to the mat, okay? Body in one straight line, either from your knees to your shoulders or from your heels to your shoulders. So one more time, your bullet points. Head in line with the spine and make sure your head stays still. Number 2, shoulders away from the ears. That means press the ground away from you. And number 3, flat back. That means tighten up those abs, lift the hips high and keep them high. All right, so whatever push-up variation you want to do is fine. Those principles will apply to any push-up variation you choose to do. And if you want to do something similar to what I'm doing, you can add a little knee tuck and then you can do the chest lift, okay? So I'm going to be doing a commando push-up with a knee tuck. I'm going to alternate which knee I'm tucking in towards my chest with each rep, and then I'm going to be doing a chest lift. So my push-up variation is going to look like this, starting all the way down on the mat on my belly. Pick up the hands, pick up the feet. Put the hands down, curl the toes under. I'm gonna push myself up, keeping my body in one straight line. And then I'm gonna tuck one knee in towards my chest. Then I'm gonna put this foot back, lower my body in one straight line all the way down my belly. Pick up the hands, pick up the feet. Then I'm going to extend my arms out in front of me. And then I'm going to do a chest lift. So I'm going to bend my elbows and I'm going to try to touch my elbows together behind my back. Okay, I'm lifting my chest up as high as I can, and then I'm extending the arms up in front of me. That's one rep. So then I'll put my hands back down on the mat, curl the toes under. Then I'm gonna push myself up again, keeping my body in one straight line from my heels to my shoulders. And this time I'm going to tuck the opposite knee in towards my chest, straighten the leg, lower myself back down, keeping my body in one straight line from my heels to my shoulders. Pick up the hands, pick up the feet, extend the arms out in front, and now chest lift. So bend the elbows, trying to touch the elbows together behind me, lifting the chest as high as I can, extend the arms, and that's my second rep, okay? So if the commando push-ups are too difficult, and you're doing knee push-ups, so you could do a one knee push-up like this. So you could have, when you do this, your knee is going to be more at like a 90-degree angle, more directly under you. You're going to extend the other leg out behind you and do your push-up with this foot elevated. And then keep that leg extended behind you, extend the other arm in front of you, and then crunch knee to elbow. You do this exercise all the time, it's one of my favorites. All right, so that's another possibility. If you don't want to come down onto your belly and do the chest lift. So, any push-up variation you want to do is work, but that's a couple of options. And then of course, if you're doing the push-up from your toes, you could do the same thing. You could just do your push-up, just a standard push-up, shortening up your range of motion if you need to. And then you could just come down and do your chest lift. That's fine. You could eliminate the chest lift if you want, or you can add something else, okay? You can add an arm reach. You could do your push-up and then reach out with one arm, or one arm and then the other arm, okay? There's endless variations and little things that you can add on to the push-up, but I'm going to be doing a commando push-up with a knee tuck, plus a chest lift, I will be alternating sides with my knee tuck with each rep, and that is my push-up variation. So any push-up variation you want to do is fine, but we need to move on from push-ups. Okay, so next, let's go over squats. So I'm going to be adding weight today for my squats, lunges, and abs. So if you have a set of light dumbbells, that's ideal, okay? I'm assuming that you don't. If you're a beginner, that's why I'm using household items instead, because I want to show you that you don't need any fitness equipment to do this workout. You can absolutely do what I'm doing. I have just a shampoo bottle and a conditioner bottle from the guest bathroom, okay? But you could fill a couple of water bottles with water or uncooked rice or dried beans or kitty litter or powdered laundry detergent, okay? So household items will absolutely work. That is what I'm using today. As long as you have something that is not too heavy for you, first of all, and then just make sure that it's something that you can maintain a secure grip on so that you're not going to drop it on yourself and hurt yourself, or nothing that's going to slip out of your hands and break or make a mess or something like that, okay? As long as you are able to maintain a secure grip on your weight and it's not too heavy for you, then any number of household items will work. But if you do have a set of light dumbbells, that's ideal. Definitely you'll want to use those today. Just make sure that they're not too heavy for you, okay? Whatever you're using for weight, whether it's actual fitness equipment or household items, just make sure that it's something that feels relatively light to you when you pick it up. I don't want you using heavy weights for these exercises that we're doing today. Your weights should feel light to you, okay? So I am going to be doing these, what I call pee-wee squats. So let me just go over the proper form for your squats first before we add weight, because remember that you do not have to add weight if you don't want to. Any squat variation, any lunge variation, and any ab exercise is fine with or without weight. Okay, so if you have nothing that's going to work for weight, or you just don't feel comfortable adding even a little bit of weight to your workouts, that's fine. You can still do this workout right along with me. But I'm going to be adding just a tiny bit of weight. So before we add the weight, let's go over the proper form for your squats. Remember, the first thing that you want to do is tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets. That means your shoulders are back and down. So it's going to feel like you're pinching your shoulder blades together behind you, and then just make sure that your shoulders aren't hunched up here by your ears. Make sure they're down. Shoulders are away from the ears and they're back, okay? So imagine trying to tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets. So that's going to help you keep your shoulders back and down. It's also going to help you keep your chest lifted nice and high, and that's what we want. You want to maintain that sensation of your chest being lifted throughout the entire exercise. All right, so shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high. Step 3, tighten up your abs. Same thing like we talked about with push-ups. Imagine someone's about to punch you in the stomach as hard as they can, and you're bracing for that impact. So really tighten up your abs as tight as you can. And then step 4 is not yet a squat, okay? Step 4, we have one more thing to do before we think about squatting, and that is hinging at the hips. And the reason for that is because if you think of your squat as just going straight down, what's going to tend to happen is that your knees are going to end up out over your toes. That's really not the movement, and it's also a really good way to hurt your knees, and we don't want to hurt our knees. So instead, what you're going to think about is hinging at the hips. So it's like you are trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. Okay, so really push your booty back. Honestly, like try to touch that wall behind you with your booty. And now do you see what happened? Do you see where my knees are? Okay, so instead of thinking about squatting straight down where my knees are over my toes, we're thinking about hinging at the hips, pushing that booty back. And now do you see how my knees are no longer out over my toes? All of my weight is in my heels, and I can actually pick up my toes. That's what we want. And remember that while you're pushing that booty back, you're keeping your chest lifted. So it's like you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty, but at the same time, you're trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. The point is that you want your spine to be elongated. That is how you're going to maintain that flat back, okay? So your bullet points for squats: flat back, weight in the heels. Same thing for lunges. Flat back, weight in the heels, okay? So the way we get that flat back is by rolling the shoulders back and down, keeping the chest lifted high. And the way we keep our weight in our heels is pushing that booty back, okay? And then from this position is where you can sink down into your squat. Now, if you can get your thighs so that they're parallel to the ground, that's what you're going for. But again, that's a goal. It's a goal you may not reach today. It's a goal you may not reach for months, okay? The important thing is your objective, okay? Your objective is maintaining that flat back and keeping your weight in your heels, okay? So as long as your back is flat and the weight is in your heels, it doesn't matter how deep you can sink into that squat. So if you're here, be here. It's really important that you're working to your own level. Don't push your body into doing anything it's not ready to do, and don't sacrifice your objective of keeping your back flat and keeping the weight in your heels just to sink lower into the squat, okay? If you have to round your back to get lower, then you have not maintained that flat back, and that's what's important is your objective, okay? So again, shortening up your range of motion is fine. Eventually, you just want to keep it in your head if that's what you're working towards, that's your goal. So eventually you want to work towards getting your thighs parallel to the ground. But if you're not there yet, be where you are. Work to your own level, please, okay? Do not push your body into doing anything it's not ready to do. So as long as your back is flat and the weight is in your heels, it's fine if you can only sink this deep into the squat. So shoulders back and down, chest is high, abs are tight, pushing the booty back, sinking down into your squat, and then once you're as low as you're gonna get, you're going to press the ground away with your heels to stand. Really, really press your heels into the ground. Again, you're visualizing actually trying to push the ground away from you so that you're activating all the muscles from your feet all the way through your legs, your quads, especially even your glutes, and of course your abs are already nice and strong and tight and engaged. So that's a basic air squat. So once more, let's put it all together. Shoulders back and down, chest is high, abs are tight. Hinging at the hips, push the booty back like you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. Remembering that to keep that chest lifted high, so you're trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest, and then sink down into your squat as deep as you can, keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in your heels, and then press your heels into the ground, activating all of the muscles in your feet and your legs and your glutes to stand. Shoulders back and down, chest is high, abs are tight. Push the booty back, keep your back flat, and the weight in your heels as you sink into the squat. Press the ground away with your heels to stand. So that's just a basic air squat. And if you're a beginner, you can stay right there. You don't have to add a thing. Of course, if you do want to add something, there are a million different squat variations. There are a million things you can add. You can add a jump, you can add a leg lift or a kick. You can do any squat variation you want, okay? So just remember that whatever squat variation you choose, flat back, weight in the heels. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be holding on to my weights, and I'm just going to start by lifting the weights in front of me as I sink into the squat. So what's the best way to describe this? It's like a ring, like around, like Saturn. Like if you imagine a ring going around, that's kind of what you're doing. So if this is one point of my ring, and then down here, like where my gas meter is the other one, so it's at kind of an angle. Does that make sense? So I'm starting by holding my weights up in front of me so that they're touching. And then what I'm going to do is bring my arms around and behind me and down towards the ground, okay? So it's like I'm trying to reach this point above me on the ceiling, and then as I bring the weights behind me, I'm going down towards the ground behind me, okay? So I'm going to be doing that while I'm squatting. So as I sink into the squat, I'm going to bring the weights up, and then as I press the ground away, they're going to come around and behind me, and then when I stand, I'm gonna squeeze the weights together behind me. Squeeze them, okay? You wanna feel this in your triceps, you wanna feel it in your upper back, really squeeze the weights together. So what that means is make sure the movement is under control. So I'm not just banging the weights together behind me. I'm controlling the movement And as I get here, I'm really squeezing. It's like they're magnets, and they're resisting you. Have that sensation that they're resisting you and you're trying your hardest to press them together, okay? That's the kind of squeeze you want to feel as you're doing that. So tighten up your arms, tighten up your upper back, and really work that sensation of resistance, okay? You know, when you try to put magnets together and they resist each other because of the magnetic force and other physics type of stuff that, I don't know, I had the world's worst physics teacher, like the worst. He was awful. I won't say his name, but if you know, you know. All right, so that's my squat variation, okay? I call them Pee-wee squats because this move I always call Pee-wees because it looks kind of like Pee-wee Herman when he's dancing to tequila in the bar. I think we all know that iconic scene, right? The tequila dance, okay? So that's where the name comes from. I didn't make up that name. Let me give a shout out real quick to my friend Sarah, because not only did she come up with the name for Pee-wees, which I love, and it makes perfect sense, and it's a great name for that exercise, but this entire concept of slap workouts I stole from my friend Sarah. And I don't think I have mentioned that so far this year. I always try to make sure I give her credit. So if you've been following the challenge any of the previous years that we did it, you've definitely heard me mention my friend Sarah. So she's a personal trainer, and oh my God, and a homeowner and a business owner and a mother, and she is an amazing artist, and she does DIY stuff. She decorates cakes. There's like literally nothing she can't do. She's amazing. And she came up with this concept of the slap workout. And the idea behind it was when you need to get a workout done and you just can't think of anything to do, it's so easy to just default to just like pick any squat variation, any lunge variation, any ab exercise, any push-up variation, just bust out some reps, okay? Slap, S-L-A-P, squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. So years ago when I started this challenge, I thought this would make a great challenge, and so I started this challenge in 2020, but every year I have to make sure I give credit to my friend Sarah, because this whole thing is like her idea, not the challenge itself and the way I structured it, but the whole concept of like the slap workout. Totally stole that from my friend Sarah, and I stole this Pee-wee exercise from her too. Maybe not the exercise itself, but the name for it. So anyway, these are Pee-wee squats. So again, I'm just gonna start here with my weights down to my side. Shoulders are back and down, chest is left to high, tighten up the abs, push the booty back, and as you sink into that squat, keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in your heels, you're bringing the weights around to the side and then up in front of you and together with control. Then as you press your heels into the ground to stand, straightening your legs, you're bringing the weights around and behind you and squeezing the weights together behind you until they touch. But you're not banging them, you're lightly touching them together because the movement is super under control. And then right into the next rep. So squat and squeeze. That's what I should call this exercise, the squat and squeeze. Except that sounds really gross. Let's not call it that. All right, you guys, this is me trying to go fast. I'm sleep deprived. All right, that's my squat variation. You can do the same thing without the weight if you want. You can just kind of like lift your hands up in front of you and squeeze them together behind you. That's fine. Or you can do any squat variation you want, okay? Remember that if you are a beginner and you need to hold on to something for support, that's fine. Just make sure that whatever you are leaning on for support is strong enough to support your entire body weight. Make sure that it is sturdy, meaning that it's well made and it's in good condition, nothing that's going to collapse or break or fold up on you when you put weight on it, and make sure that it's stable, meaning that it cannot slide from underneath you. So for example, if you need to use like a chair or something, that's great, but you want to make sure that your chair is strong enough to support your entire body weight. Even if you're just lightly touching it to kind of steady yourself and you're not really planning on putting a lot of weight on the chair, well, if it's there to help you balance, what happens if you lose your balance and you end up having to really lean on the chair? You want to make sure that if necessary, it can support your entire body weight. So make sure your chair is really strong. Make sure it's sturdy. So what that means is don't use like a folding chair that could fold up on you when you put weight on it, or like one of those collapsible like stools, okay? Nothing that's going to fold up or collapse or break when you put weight on it. So if you're using a chair, make sure your chair is good quality, make sure it's well made, make sure it's in decent condition, and then you want to make sure it's stable so that it cannot slide from underneath you. So I always recommend placing your chair or bar stool or whatever you're using on top of an exercise mat or a yoga mat so that it stays put. All right, but as long as your elevated surface meets those 3 criteria, strong enough to support your entire body weight, sturdy enough so that it will not collapse or break or fold up when you put weight on it, and stable so that it cannot slide from underneath you, then any number of elevated surfaces will work. So you could use a chair or a bar stool. You could also use the arm of your couch or your dining room counter, okay? So if you need to hold on to something for support, that's not anything that I have time to get into demonstrating and explaining today, but I have demonstrated and explained those modifications numerous times earlier in the challenge. So if you need to see those modifications, please just ask. You can even modify your squats by sitting into a chair. All right, so I don't care if you have the world's worst knees. I don't care if you're in just the absolute worst shape imaginable. I promise you can do squats. If you need to see those modifications, they are included in the day 1 video. They are included in many of the other videos on this playlist, and I'm always here to help. I'm always happy to guide you through any modifications that you need to see, okay? But just remember that if you need to sit onto a chair for your squat, or if you need to hold onto a chair to support you, that's fine. That is an option. Just make sure that your chair or whatever elevated surface you're using is strong enough, sturdy enough, and stable enough to be used safely. All right, but that's squats. Let's move on. I am delirious. Okay, lunges. Same as with squats. Bullet points are shoulders back and down, chest lifted high, and flat back, weight in the heels, okay? Flat back, weight in the heels. Remember that. So what you're going to do, I really don't remember if this is what I plan on doing for my lunges, but I think it is. All right, so I'm going to do reverse lunges. That means I'm going to start with my feet in a neutral position. What that means to me is that they're about hip width apart. The point is that we're not starting with our feet really wide. You don't want your feet wider than your shoulders, but they're also not together. So for me, that means my feet are about hip width apart, just whatever kind of feels natural to you and whatever feels like kind of a neutral position. And then you're going to pick up one foot and take a step behind you. So you're going to step back, and then from here, you're going to bend both knees and sink into your lunge. So again, your back is flat and your weight is in the heel of this front foot. So do your best to make sure that you have about a 90-degree angle in this front knee, meaning that the knee of this front leg is more over the heel of my front foot as opposed to being out over the toes like this. So flat back, weight in the heel. Make sure there's about a 90-degree angle in this front knee. Now, if you want to tap that back knee to the ground, I always tap my back knee to the ground when I do my lunges, just to make sure that the movement is under control so that you don't bang your knee into the ground. The movement should be under control regardless, but especially if you're going to be tapping the ground with your knee, I don't want anyone getting hurt. And especially as you fatigue, it's really easy to start to lose control of the movement or to lose your sense of spatial awareness and not realize how close your knee is to the ground. So really, really be cognizant of that. I don't want anyone getting hurt. You don't have to tap that back knee to the ground. That's fine. If you are here, then again, just be here, that's fine. Again, it's about working to your own level. So if your range of motion does not allow you to sink this deep into the lunge, you don't have to. All right, remember, if you're a beginner, it's always fine to shorten up your range of motion. So with your lunge, that means 2 things. The first thing we're doing is taking a step back. So if you can't step back really far, shorten up your range of motion on the step. You can just step here instead of here, okay? And the second way that applies to your lunges is the lunge itself, how deep you're sinking into the lunge, how much of a bend there is to your knees. So if you cannot bend your knees so that your back knee touches the ground, then you can shorten up your range of motion and just come here, okay? So you can shorten up your range of motion on the step, you can shorten up your range of motion on the lunge itself. And remember, if you're a beginner and you need to hold on to something for support, that you can hold on to a strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface to support you, okay? And those are your beginner modifications, and you can eliminate the weight, okay? So I'm going to be doing a lunge, and then I'm going to be, instead of just stepping the foot forward again, I'm going to drive this knee up in front of me and hold just for a second. All right, and then I'm just going to go right into my next rep. So the goal is to go from here, then just swing that foot behind you and it doesn't touch the ground again until you're lunging, okay? Then press your front heel into the ground, this foot comes forward and the knee goes up, okay? So if you need to reset, that's a modification. You can step back and lunge, drive the knee up and reset. And then go into your next rep. Or you can lunge, step forward, reset, and then drive the knee up, okay? And then go into your next lunge, step back and lunge, reset. Drive the knee up, reset. These are modifications, okay? So make it work for you. Do whatever you need to do to make it work for you. I am going to be doing my lunge, driving the knee up, and then going right into my next rep. Okay? And I'm going to be adding weight. So very similar, we're doing similar for squats, lunges, and abs. The movement that we're doing, what we're doing with the weights is going to be very similar for all three of those exercises. So I'm going to start just holding my weights to my side. And as I step back into my lunge, I'm going to keep the weights where they are. And at the bottom of my lunge, I'm going to pause here for just a second and do a little row. So that just means I'm going to bend my elbows and bring the weights up towards my shoulders and then lower them back down with control as I step forward and bring that knee up. Now from here, I'm going to rotate my wrists so that now my palms are facing the top of my thighs and the backs of my hands are facing you. And I'm going to lift the weights straight up in front of me. Okay, so that now my palms are facing down to the ground. Okay, so step back, row the weights, step forward, drive that knee up, rotate the wrists, and bring the weights up. And then you're going to tap them together underneath your knee. So again, you're here, my palms are facing you, and you're just going to bring the weights down and around and tap them together with control. And then you'll rotate your wrists again, return to your starting position. So now my palms are facing the outsides of my legs, the backs of my hands are facing the walls next to me. Okay, so starting position, my palms are facing the outsides of my legs. Step back and lunge, row the weights. Then as you step forward, you're rotating your wrists so that now the backs of my hands are facing you as I drive that knee up. And then I'm going to lift the weights straight up in front of me. My palms are now facing the ground. Keep going, lifting the weights all the way up overhead, and now my palms are facing you. Then from here, I'm going to circle down with my arms and tap the weights together underneath my knee with control. And then right into my next rep. So now I'm just returning to my starting position. Right now the backs of my hands are facing you. I'm rotating my wrists again so that the backs of my hands are now facing these walls on either side of me, and then right into my next rep. Okay? It's a lot, but there's a flow to it. So lunge, row, knee up. Lift the weights up overhead, tap them together underneath. Right into the next rep. Lunge, row, knee up, tap the weights. Lunge, row, overhead, around the world. All right? That is the exercise. Lunge, row, lift the weights up overhead, come around the world. Make sense? It makes sense. I know it's a lot of movement. There's a lot of things happening. So if you want, you can eliminate the row, and you can eliminate the arm raise, you can eliminate the around the world. You really can just lunge back, drive the knee up and tap the weights. That's simplifying it a lot, okay? Or you can do the row and the tap and just eliminate the arm raise and the around the world. Okay, whatever's gonna work for you. So I think there's a flow to this, and to me the movement makes sense. But if it's too many moving parts and it's confusing or you're losing your balance, you can eliminate the knee up. Remember that any lunge variation you want to do is absolutely fine as long as you're keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in that heel, and as long as you're getting the reps done. Okay, so do whatever works for you. You can add weight, not add weight. You can hold on to something for support. You can lift the knee. You cannot lift the knee. Okay, remember, just take what works for you and leave the rest. But that is what I'm doing for my lunge variation. So let's go ahead and go over abs very quickly, and then we got to get this workout done. Okay, so again, I'm going to be adding weight for my ab exercise, but you do not have to. So if you don't want to add weight, you can just do single leg raises. So you can come down onto your mat, all the way down on your back, legs extended straight, arms extended overhead, and then you can just lift one leg, keeping the leg more or less straight. You do not have to actively straighten your leg. You don't have to lock out your knee and try to keep your leg as straight as you can. Just more or less straight, okay? It's fine if there's a soft bend to your knee, especially if you have tight hamstrings. That's fine, but you're not specifically crunching the knee in towards your chest. You're keeping the leg more or less straight. You're just gonna lift the leg straight up, and then as you do that, you're going to sit up and tap the toes with the hand on the opposite side. Then lower the arms, lower the leg, and then repeat that on the other side. We're alternating sides with each rep. So now lift the opposite leg, keeping the leg more or less straight. And as you do that, sit up, tap the foot with the hand on the opposite side, and reverse the movement. Again, making sure you're controlling the movement, especially on the way down, so you're not just letting gravity take over and just letting that leg drop. You're controlling the movement. You don't have to go this slowly. I'm just showing you that every aspect of the movement should be under control. All right, you want to resist gravity. If you just kind of relax your muscles, gravity will take over and you'll lower your leg, or your leg will be lowered to the ground, but you're not doing it. Okay, the point is that you want resistance is how we get stronger. So for this exercise, you want to resist gravity. Gravity wants to pull your leg down, but you're in control of the movement. You're resisting gravity and you're controlling the movement of that leg as you lower it to the ground, okay? So again, lifting one leg straight up. As you do that, sitting up, tapping the toes with the hand on the opposite side, and then lowering the leg down, lowering your torso down with control, alternating sides for each rep, okay? So that's what you can do if you don't want to add weight. I'm going to be doing essentially that same thing, but with weight, and again, it's going to be a similar movement. So I'm going to start in the same position with my arms extended overhead, but I'm holding on to my weights. And as I lift that leg, instead of just bringing the weight straight up, I'm going to, again, bring the weights around, and I'm going to tap them together on the other side of my leg like this. All right, so it's going to look like this. Legs straight, arms extended overhead to start, lift the leg. And as you do that, you're going to lift the torso, bring the weights around and tap them together on the other side of your leg. Then reverse the movement, bring the weights around, return to your starting position. Repeat that on the other side. So lift the other leg, weights come around. So you're making a big semicircle with each arm, okay, around the world. Just tapping the weights together, making sure the movement is under control the whole time. All right, so that is our ab exercise. If you don't like it, you can do any ab exercise you want, okay? Any sit-up variation, any crunch variation. You can do the single leg lift without weight. You can do, you can lift and lower both legs together. You can do toe touches, sit-ups, it doesn't matter, okay? And if you cannot get down onto the mat, for your ab exercise, we have several different standing ab variations that we have been over. I have to move on. I have to get to the workout, so I'm not going to demonstrate and explain those today, but please know that if you cannot get down onto the mat for abs or push-ups, there are standing options for push-ups and for abs. We have been over both of those several times throughout the course of the challenge. I do not have time to do it today. I do not have time to demonstrate and explain those exercises today, but I am always here to help. So please, 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 if you need to see those modifications, ask, okay? That's it, that's all for exercises. All right, let me very quickly go over the format because I've got to get these reps done. I've already been out here way too long. I do not have time to be out here this long. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're starting with push-ups. I'm going to do my Commando push-ups with a knee tuck and a chest lift, 20 reps, alternating legs for the knee tuck with each rep, 20 total reps. Then I'm going to move on to squats, lunges, and abs, and I'm doing sets of 40 for my squats, lunges, and abs. So I'm going to do all 40 squats before moving on to lunges. Then I'm going to do 20 lunges on one leg, then switch and do 20 lunges on the other leg before moving on to my ab exercise. And then I will do 20 reps of my ab exercise, my single leg lift with the weights, alternating legs with each rep for 40 reps. So by that time, squats, lunges, and abs are done. Push-ups are half done. So then we just need to finish with another set of 20 push-ups, and that's how we are getting our 160 reps done today. Hopefully that is all clear. Please remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and I'm going to do the entire workout with you right now. So watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format, if you have questions about how everything fits together, or if the format is not working for you and you need help restructuring it, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we are doing today, if you have doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, since we are technically using equipment today, or beginner modifications, beyond what I have already provided, I am right here to help, so please just ask. Also, please remember that, first of all, it's very important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And also, you guys know it's incredibly important to me, even when I'm rushing, I'm doing my best, always doing my best to make sure that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me, and I'm always here to help facilitate that, but especially so for this challenge this year. So again, please just don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. And then the thing I wanted to remind you of is, especially if you're going to be working out along with the video, please make sure that you are going at your own pace and that you're minding your form. As important as it is that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, it's equally as important that you apply that knowledge during the workout and make sure that you're actually doing the exercises with the correct form, so that you reduce your risk of injury and you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. If you find that you're racing through the exercises at the expense of your form, then you need to slow down. Maybe you set a really ambitious time goal and you're trying so hard to meet your time goal that you're racing through the exercises, not paying attention to your form. But again, it's goals versus objectives. Having a time goal is a great thing, but your objective is to mind your form. So you don't want to sacrifice your form for speed. You have to make sure your priorities in order. The number one priority is that you're doing the exercises correctly. All right, so if you're racing through the exercises, either just because you're trying to go really, really fast to meet your time goal, or because you're racing to try to keep up with me, if you are faster than I am, if you're in any kind of decent shape, you will very likely be faster than I am. That's great, as long as you're not sacrificing your form to get there. But if you're racing to keep up with me, or you're just racing to meet your time goal and your form's getting sloppy as a result of that because you're going too fast, then you need to slow down. Okay, if you fall behind, either just because you're working at a slower pace than I am, or because you find that you need to pause and take rest breaks, that's fine. Pause and take rest breaks. Just pause the video. And then when you're ready to resume the workout, come back. I'm not going anywhere. I will be right here. We can finish the workout together. All right, so it's fine to pause and take rest breaks. Challenge yourself to keep the rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need. So if you need to pause, that's great. Pause and rest. You should only resume the workout when you feel that you have regained enough strength and that you have enough stamina that you are able to continue with good form, okay? Remember not to sacrifice your form for speed. Please work to your own level. Always make the decision that is best for you. You have to listen to your body. Don't push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. And make sure that you're going at your own pace and minding your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. Hopefully I've covered everything. If you're ready to go ahead and do this workout, grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel may suffice. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. But if you are going to be down on the floor or the ground for your ab exercise like I am, or if you're going to be doing commando push-ups or knee push-ups, you're definitely going to be a lot more comfortable with something soft beneath you. So definitely grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. Grab a set of light weights. If you have something that you can use for weight that doesn't feel heavy to you, it should feel light to you. And if you want to add weight, okay? So a light set of dumbbells is perfect, but if not, household items will work. So you can grab shampoo bottles or water bottles filled with water or uncooked rice or dried beans, kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, something like that. And then pause the video. Oh, and also grab a chair or a bar stool or some other sort of strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface. If you need to hold on to something for support, get that ready as well, okay? And then pause the video, go get dressed. Meet me right back here. We are going to do a quick 5-minute warm-up and then we will get our reps done together. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm-up. So you're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest your hand there. You're not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You're just letting your hand rest on top of your head. Make sure your arm is relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed, and you're just allowing gravity to do all the work of gently stretching the other side of your neck. Now switch sides so let your head fall towards the other shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure your arms are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed, not up here. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. Next, we're gonna do some head rolls. So you're going to start by just allowing your chin to fall towards your chest and then to the other shoulder and back. And with each head roll, you're gonna start feeling your head get heavier and heavier. Your arms are nice and loose like you're a rag doll. And you're gonna expand your range of motion each time, swinging your entire body down in front of you. And now we're gonna do some shoulder rolls. So just rolling your shoulders to the back, nice big circles. Really exaggerate that movement as much as you can. Explore your full range of motion. Next, we're going to do arm circles, but we're going to start small. So you're going to extend your arms straight out to the side, and you're going to start by just making small circles. But gradually, as the interval progresses, you're going to start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally, again, you are exploring your full range of motion, making those circles as big as you possibly can. Now you're going to step your feet out wider than shoulder width apart, bend the knees, and kind of sweep your hands down in front of you. And then as you straighten the legs, you're stretching up as high as you can, trying to touch the ceiling. And each time you bend your knees, You're expanding your range of motion, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted where they are. We're just gonna lunge side to side, nice and easy, adding the arms. So with each lunge, you are reaching across your body with your arm, like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Then we're gonna step our feet in and march. So step the feet into the center, march, keeping the knees low at first, but then gradually as the interval progresses, you are going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest, feeling a little stretch in your glutes. And now we're gonna do the same thing with a nice light jog. So you're jogging, knees are low to start, but gradually you're gonna start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can. And now for our booty kicks. So it's still a nice light jog, but with each step, you're bringing your foot up behind you, trying to kick yourself in the booty with your heel. Now for this next one, you might need to hold on to the wall or a chair for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips, transfer your weight into one leg, pick up the other foot and just swing the leg. Nice and loose and easy. Swing the leg in front of you, and then behind you, we're gonna switch legs. So you're gonna put this foot down, pick up the other foot, and just start swinging the leg. You can start low, and then gradually start increasing your range of motion, kicking that leg up higher in front of you, swinging it behind you. Now you're gonna transfer your weight to this foot. So switch legs again, take the other leg, extend it out in front of you. And then you're just gonna draw a semicircle, bringing the leg around and behind you. And with each semicircle, you're gonna start lifting the leg higher and higher, and then finally you're gonna drive the knee up in front of you and kind of guide it around with your hand. Other side. So extend the foot out in front, keeping the foot low to the ground at first. Drawing a semicircle, bringing that leg around and behind you. And each time you do, you're bringing that leg higher and higher. And then you can drive the knee up, guide it around with your hand. Last but not least is our hamstring stretch. So you want to try to keep your back as flat as you can in this stretch. So I'm holding on to this post. You can hold on to the wall or a chair or the arm of your couch. You don't have to hold on to anything if you don't want to, but it just makes it a lot easier to get into this stretch if you have a chair or something to lean on. It's going to help you keep your back flat. If your back is rounded in this stretch, you're not going to hurt yourself, but the flatter you can keep your back, the more you're going to isolate your hamstrings, and it's really going to intensify that stretch and make it much more effective. So you don't have to use a chair or a bar stool or anything like that if you don't want to, but it just can make it a lot more comfortable getting into that stretch, and it can make it a lot easier to keep your back flat while you do that stretch. And we're really only here for a few seconds, so I want to maximize the effectiveness by keeping the back as flat as I can. And I know that was longer than 5 minutes, but you don't have to spend extra time in that hamstring stretch if you don't want to. So the backs of my legs are always really tight, so I always just like to spend a few extra seconds there, but that's it. That's our warm-up, our 5+ minute warm-up. All right, so now our muscles are nice and warm. Let's go ahead and get these reps done. We are starting with push-ups. I am doing a commando push-up with a knee tuck plus a chest lift. Alternating legs for the knee tuck with each rep, 20 reps. Remember, you can do any push-up variation you want, 20 reps. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So coming all the way down onto the mat, all the way down onto my belly, lift the hands, lift the feet. Now I'm gonna put my hands down, curl the toes under, push myself up in one straight line, tuck the knee into the chest, And now lower myself back down, keeping my body in one straight line from my heels to my shoulders. Extend the arms up in front of my head. Chest lift. So bending the elbows, trying to squeeze my elbows together behind my back. That's 1 rep. So now I'm going to alternate sides with my knee tuck. So another commando push-up, tucking the opposite knee in towards the chest. Lower myself back down. Extend the arms up overhead. Bending the elbows, lifting the chest as high as I can. That's 2. So, push up, knee tuck, chest lift. Other side. Push up, tuck the knee, chest lift. That's 4. I have to do 16 more, so I'm gonna zip it. Let's get these done. That's 20. So now we're moving on to squats, lunges, and abs. Sets of 40. So starting with squats, I'm doing PV squats, 40 reps, okay? You can do any squat variation you want, 40 reps, with or without weight. So when you're ready, here we go. So bringing the weights up in front of you as you sink into the squat, and then squeezing them together behind your back as you stand. That's 1. 2, making sure that movement is under control and you're really feeling that squeeze in the back. 3, 4, 5. We're going to 40. Do your best. 20. We're halfway there. Keep pushing. 30. If you started with weights and it's getting too difficult, drop the weights. We have 10 reps left to go. That's 40. I'm going to set the weights down just to give my arms and my shoulders a quick rest. Swing out the arms, stretch the shoulders a little bit. Next is our lunge variation. So again, my lunge variation is a little bit complicated, lots of moving parts. So take what works for you, leave the rest. You can do any lunge variation you want, with or without weight. As soon as you're ready, here we go. So this is what I'm doing. Reverse lunge. Now row the weights. Drive that knee up, and as you do that, you're lifting your arms straight up overhead, and now around the world with the weights. Tap the weights together with control underneath that knee, and right into your next rep, okay? So then step that knee back, or step the foot back, row the weights, drive the knee up, lift the weights up overhead, and tap them together under your leg, right into your next rep. Reverse lunge, row the weights, drive the knee up, lift the weights up overhead, around the world, tap the weights together under the knee. That's 3. Lunge, row, weights up overhead, around the world. That's 4. 5. We're going to 20 on this leg, and then we'll switch and do 20 on the other leg. Do your best. Okay, that's 20. So now I'm gonna switch legs. I'm gonna do another 20 reps on the other leg. So my inclination, before I've even had a chance to realize it, is to always start on my stronger side. So what that means is that now we're moving to my weaker side. So it's already harder for me on this side, harder to find my balance, and I'm more fatigued. So as you get fatigued, it's harder to find your balance. Plus, my brain is used to balancing on this leg. Now I'm asking it to do something different. So it's a difficult transition to make. It's fine if the first few reps are really wobbly. Remember, we embrace the wobble here, okay? It's great core work. Just try to remember that if you're losing your balance and wobbling around, just keep fighting for that balance, because with each wobble, you're causing all of those tiny little stabilizer muscles in your core to be firing like crazy, okay? So try to reframe it as part of the exercise If it gets too frustrating and you're just wobbling too much and it's taking too long to get through the reps, eliminate the knee lift, okay? So that you don't have to fight for your balance so much, all right? Make the decision that's best for you. But same exercise on the other side. So step back with the opposite foot, reverse lunge, row the weights, drive that knee up, lifting the weights up in front of you, and then tapping the weights together under that knee with control right into your next rep. So swing the leg back, reverse lunge, row, drive the knee up, around the world. That's 2. We're going to 20, so do your best. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is my last rep, but also my mind was wandering a little bit and I feel like I may have lost track of my count. So I know that when I was demonstrating and explaining this exercise during the tutorial that I think I did all of my reps on this leg. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a few more reps. These may be extra, but once I get that thought in my brain that I might have lost count, I'm not gonna be able to get rid of it until I just scratch that itch on my brain by doing a few more reps. So I know these reps might be above and beyond my 40 reps that are required for the challenge, but it's fine. I'd rather know that there's a possibility that I might have done a few extra reps than to spend the rest of the day wondering if I didn't do as many reps as I was supposed to. So, all right, that's at least 20 reps on that side. So I think I'm good. So squats are done, lunges are done. Let's get our abs done, and then all we have to do is finish up with our final 20 push-ups, okay? Well, there's more, but I forgot to talk about that before we started the workout. We'll worry about that after we finish our 161 reps that are required, okay? So coming down onto your mat on your back, legs are straight, arms are extended up overhead. Lift one leg straight up, lift your torso, bring the weights around and tap them together with control on the other side of your leg, and then lower your leg, lower your torso with control, alternating sides with each rep. So lift the leg, bring the weights around, tap them together. That's 3, other side. That's 4. We're going to 40, so to do another 36, let's try to pick up the pace. Picking up my count at 4. That's 20, another 20. Keeping your arms more or less straight the whole time, but make sure you're not locking out your elbows. You really should have a slight bend to your elbows. That's 30, just 10 more. Keep pushing. Oh, my abs hurt. Okay, 6 more. It's 35, 36, 37, 38, 2 more. 39, last one, 40. All right, so squats are all done. Lunges are all done and abs are all done. If you spent an extra few seconds stretching your hamstrings with me before the workout, I bet you're grateful now, huh, after that ab exercise. All right, so all we have left to do is finish up with our final 20 push-ups. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. That's 10. 10 more. It's 18, just 2 more. Push. 19, last one. Get up. I know that was a tough little workout. It's a really tough push-up variation. And I know it's tempting to just collapse on your mat, but it's really important to get up and move around. Now, we will go through a little cool down together, but before I start my cool down, I forgot to mention yet again before the workout that it is tradition for this final week of the challenge that we do a bonus round. So the bonus round is completely optional. You can join me if you would like. If not, you can just pace around and start your cool down while you watch me do this bonus round and cheer me on. Or you can use the chapter markers to skip over the bonus round and go straight to the cool down and then just do a little cool down with me. That's fine, all right? If you want to join me, the bonus round is just 10 extra reps of each exercise, okay? So whatever versions of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups you did during the workout, you're just gonna do an extra set of 10 of each of those exercises, okay? So I'm just gonna go in order. Even though I started the workout with push-ups, I'm gonna go in order for my bonus round. Just do squats, then lunges, then abs, and then finish with push-ups. Because I also ended the workout with push-ups. So, with or without weight, when you're ready, just 10 squats. So squat and squeeze. My new gross name for this exercise. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 more. 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. 10. Now for lunges, you can just do 5 on each leg. That's 10 total reps. I'm just gonna go ahead and do 10 on each leg, because why not? You do whatever you want. All right. Lunge, row, knee up, and squeeze. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. This is 5. You can switch legs now if you want, or you can just double them up with me. Do 10 on each leg. So that's 6 for me. 7. 8. 9, last one. And 10. Shake it out. Switching legs. 5 or 10 reps on the other leg when you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move on to abs if you want. If you want to do an extra 5 reps with me, that's 6, 7, 8, just 2 more, 9, and 10. So now 10 more reps of abs. So I'm doing my single leg lift with a fly. Alternating sides with each rep. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so now just finishing up this little bonus round with another 10 push-ups. Any push-up variation you want to do is fine. I'm gonna be sticking with my Commando push-up with a knee tuck and a chest lift. Alternating legs for the knee tuck with each rep. So that's 2. 3. 4. 5. Six, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so now get up. If you did that bonus round with me, you rock, especially if you still don't understand why we're doing it. If you've done the challenge with me in years prior, you may remember why we're doing this, because I explain it every year. Just know that this is a tradition that dates back to year 1 of the challenge, which was 2020. So I've already spent way too long out here today. I do not have time to get into it today, but tomorrow's the last day of the challenge. So I promise that tomorrow I will explain the rationale behind doing these little bonus rounds that we've been doing after each workout this week. There is a reason for it. So I'll get to that tomorrow, I promise. But for right now, let's just start our little cool down. So it's just really important to get up immediately after the workout and keep moving. It's fine to just kind of pace around a little bit. That's really all I do for my cool down. If you prefer to do a more structured type of cool down, you can do that, absolutely. But the whole point is just that you want to keep moving. You want to just keep the blood flowing, keep the circulation going while you allow your heart rate to come down a little bit and while you allow your breathing to normalize. So you just kind of pace around with me. Shake it out. Shake out the arms. Shake out the legs. Let's go ahead and do a quick shoulder stretch. We were, of course, doing lots of push-ups today. 50 push-ups if you did the bonus round with me. But also we were adding weight to our squats, lunges, and abs. And the way we were incorporating the weights, we were working our shoulders a lot today. So definitely, probably a good idea to just take a minute to stretch them out. So I'm just pulling one arm across my body. Make sure that the straight arm is nice and relaxed, and make sure that shoulder is nice and relaxed so that it can get a good stretch. Shake it out. We're gonna switch sides. So bringing the opposite hand across your body and using your other arm to pull it in towards your chest. And again, making sure that your arm that's straight is completely relaxed, and make sure your shoulder is completely relaxed. If your shoulder is tight, if you're tensing your muscle and it's hunched up by your ear, you're not going to be able to get a good stretch. Your muscles are only pliable when they're relaxed, okay? So make sure the shoulder's nice and relaxed. Make sure your arm's relaxed so you can get the actual benefit of the stretch. Shake it out. We'll do a quick tricep stretch. So you're gonna bend one arm, place your hand on the elbow, and then just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. But make sure that your free hand is completely relaxed. Your fingers should be pointing straight down at the ground. So you want to make sure this hand is not hanging around up here somewhere. should be completely relaxed and just pointing straight down at the ground. And just gently pull your elbow towards your shoulder, feeling that stretch in the triceps. Shake it out. Look at the other side. So just bend the arm, place your hand on top of your shoulder, and then gently pull your shoulder towards, or pull your, I do know what my body parts are, I promise. Place your hand on your elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Your free hand is completely relaxed, pointing straight down towards the ground. Feel that nice stretch in your hamstrings. Shake it out. Swing the arms. Really make sure those shoulders are nice and loose. We'll do a quick quad stretch. So if you're having trouble balancing, you may want to hold on to something for support. If not, you don't have to. You're just gonna bend your knee, bring one foot up behind you, reach back and grab onto the top of your foot with both hands, and then you're going to press your heel into your booty cheek, feeling that nice stretch in your quads. And as you're pressing your heel into your booty, make sure you are tilting your pelvis forward, tucking your booty underneath you, and sucking your belly button back towards your spine. All right, it's going to really intensify that stretch in your quads, make the stretch much more effective. So let's switch legs. I'll show you from this side so you can see what I'm talking about better. So now pick up the opposite foot, bend the knee, bring the foot behind you, reach back and grab onto the top of your foot with both hands and press your heel into your booty cheek. And as you do that, tilt your pelvis forward. Okay, so you're tucking your booty underneath and you're trying to touch your spine with your belly button. So suck your belly button back towards your spine. And as you're doing that, remember to keep pressing your heel into your booty cheek. And you're going to instantly feel that stretch intensify in your quad. All right, shake it out. Shake out the legs one last time. Shake out the hands, the wrists, the arms. Swing the arms, make sure the shoulders are nice and loose. All right, so that's our little cool down. If you feel that you're still breathing kind of heavily and your heart rate is still elevated, you may need to take a couple more minutes to cool down. That's fine. Just pause the video. You can continue just pacing around. You can do a little more light stretching. And once you're close to your resting heart rate and your breathing has normalized, come back and we are going to do our bonus burpee together. Now, if you are a beginner, please don't think that that excuses you from having to do a bonus burpee. Everyone must do a bonus burpee. It is mandatory. It is part of the workout. It is most definitely part of this challenge. Any burpee variation you want to do is fine. I am going to be including a push-up. I always include a push-up with my bonus burpee, but there are a million different burpee variations out there. Many of them include a push-up, many of them do not. So if you don't want to do another push-up, that's fine. Choose a burpee variation that does not include a push-up, but the burpee itself is mandatory. So I'm going to walk you through how to do a beginner bonus burpee. I will be including a push-up. You can eliminate the push-up if you prefer. All right, so you're just going to start by standing in the middle of your mat. You're going to bend down and place your hands flat on the mat in front of you. And then you're going to step your feet out one at a time so that you are in a plank position, knees down for a push-up if you want to include a push-up. If not, you can eliminate it, that's fine. Step the feet in and stand. Come up onto your toes if you can, do a little calf raise, and if you want, you can add a little jump. If you are not a beginner and you would like to try to do the push-up from your toes, let's go ahead and just do one final bonus burpee together and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you are ready, here we go, final rep of the day. With that, the workout is now officially complete. That ended up taking me 19 minutes and 39 seconds. I did not set a time goal today. I know I could have done it faster than this, but you guys, this is day 39 and I am exhausted. So while I do think it can be helpful to time the workouts, And I do always time my workouts. The reason I do it is because now the next time I do this exact same workout, I will have a very clear and very realistic goal in mind of what I want to accomplish. So my score today was 19 minutes and 39 seconds. I know I can do it significantly faster than that. So the next time I do this workout, I will make it my goal to finish in under 19 minutes, let's say. All right, and then I just keep track of my scores, and I find it really encouraging when I can compare my scores and see myself getting faster, and I know it's because I'm getting stronger. So I recommend trying it. I know it's not helpful for everyone, but just try it. If it's not helpful for you, then you don't have to time your workouts. But it might be something that really encourages you to keep pushing yourself to get stronger and faster. And I find it really encouraging. So that's why I time my workouts, but you don't have to. Regardless, my official score for today is 19 minutes and 39 seconds. Just to remember that as long as you get out here and do the reps, that's what's important. So it's not really very important how quickly you do them. What's important is that first of all, you summoned the motivation to get dressed, get your little booty out here and get the reps done. And number two, that you did the reps with excellent form. So regardless of how long this workout took you, as long as you got out here and you got the reps done and you were minding your form, that's what's important. So well done. So now it's really important that you're taking at least a good 15 or 20 minutes to stretch. If you can do your stretching right now, immediately after the workout, that's going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm from the workout. If you do not have time to stretch now, that's fine. You can do your stretching later in the day. Just remember that if you wait until later in the day, that your muscles will have gotten cold again. So you're going to have to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you begin stretching. The same way we warm up our muscles before the workout, it is equally important that you don't jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles. You need to take a few minutes to make sure your muscles are warm because warm muscles are more pliable. So you are reducing your risk of overstretching or straining something or pulling a muscle. So please make sure that you are safe. Take time to warm up your muscles before you begin your stretching routine. If you're an absolute beginner and you don't know how to stretch, just open up YouTube and search for beginner stretching routine. There's going to be tons of great options to choose from. Pick one that looks good to you and just get it done. I do have a stretching routine that I do every day. If you want that one, please ask. I'm happy to share the link, but it doesn't matter what you do for your stretching routine, just as long as you don't skip your stretching. Taking the time to stretch every day is going to go a long way towards helping to alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing, and it is also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward, and you're going to improve your flexibility and your mobility, which is important in and of itself. So please make sure that you're taking the time to stretch every day. Before I get my stretching done, I'm going to add on 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. That's why I'm holding Rude Becca. Rude Becca is my adorable black jump rope with these cute little white skulls on the handles. And if you would like to know where I got Rude Becca, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link and use coupon code RudeBecca to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. I am going to reset my timer for 40 rounds of 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals. That's 20 minutes. I'm gonna get some music going and just get my cardio done. 20 minutes, then I'll do my stretching, hop in the shower, eat some lunch, and get on with the rest of this very, very busy day. The additional cardio is not required. I'm just sharing this with you because this is how I do the challenge. Every year since 2020, this is always how I do the challenge. I add on 20 to 30 minutes or more of moderate paced cardio after every single workout because I am looking to use this challenge to try to get myself back in shape. I need to lose weight. I need to improve my stamina, and I want to strengthen my heart and my lungs, and the additional cardio goes a long way towards helping me to accelerate that process. It also enables me to start seeing results faster, which is really encouraging. And the more encouraged I feel because I'm seeing the results of my hard work, I'm seeing that what I'm doing is working, it really motivates me to keep going. The easier it is to find the motivation to get out here and get the reps done every day, then the easier it is to stick with the challenge. Plus, the stronger I get and the more my stamina improves, the easier the workouts become for me. So that also helps with motivation, because I know that when I get myself out here to do these reps every day, that each day is going to be just a little bit easier than it was the day before. So I strongly recommend adding on the additional cardio when and if you can. It does not have to be jump rope. Jump rope is my go-to. 9 times out of 10, I'm jumping rope for my additional cardio, but sometimes I might choose to go for a run or hop on the exercise bike for 30 minutes. When I have time, I'll do a nice long hike. So you can go for a jog or even just a brisk walk, or if you have an exercise bike or a treadmill or an elliptical or something like that, you can hop on one of those for 20, 30 minutes more if you want to. If you have access to the field at your local high school, you could jog around the track, you could do up and down the bleachers, or if you have steps in your home or your apartment complex, or if there's a beach or a park or a hiking trail close by that has steps, up and down the steps is another great option. Or if you live by the beach, or if you own a pool, if you have access to a pool, you could go swimming. Swimming is amazing cardio. If you have access to a heavy bag, either as part of your home gym or if you have a gym membership, the heavy bag is also, I think, another really cool option. So any kind of moderate paced cardio is fine. Get creative, use what's available to you. And again, you do not have to do any cardio at all if you don't want to. I just share this with you every day because I want to be completely transparent. I want to be upfront with you about the fact that I am doing more than just these 160 reps every day. I am relying solely on these 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups that we're doing every day for my strength training. But I'm also doing 20 to 30 minutes or more of moderate paced cardio after every workout. So if you are also looking to use this challenge to get yourself in shape, or if you're trying to lose weight, the additional cardio is going to help a lot, and I know that you are going to be so much happier with your results at the end of the challenge if you add the cardio. I don't want to pressure you, I'm just want you to just think about it, okay? I'm just suggesting it. I'm very strongly suggesting it. Now, I know that 6 workouts a week, we're working out every Monday through Saturday. That means I'm doing 6 cardio sessions a week, and that is a lot. Granted, you may not have the physical ability to do 6 cardio sessions a week, or you just might not have the time. That's completely understandable. But if you can just find 2 or 3 days a week to squeeze in a cardio session, I strongly recommend that you consider adding on a little bit of moderate paced cardio after the workouts when you can and if you want to, okay? That's how I do the challenge. So I just wanted to share that with you. So once more, just to clarify, the additional cardio is not required. It is not mandatory in any way, shape, or form. It is not officially, technically part of the challenge, but it is strongly recommended. But whether or not you are adding on any cardio today, our 161 reps are complete. We did 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, 40 push-ups, and 1 bonus burpee. And if you did the bonus round with me, that means you did 50 squats, 50 lunges, 50 reps of abs, 50 push-ups, and 1 bonus burpee. And if you did 10 bonus lunges on each leg like I did, that means you actually did 60 lunges. So that means you did a total of 211 reps today. So well done. And you guys, that is officially a wrap on day 39. Can you believe it? That means that this 6th annual SLAP challenge is all but complete. All we have left to do is our day 40 workout, which is exactly the same as our day 1 workout. I can't wait to see how much I have improved, and I can't wait to hear how much you all have improved. This is the most people I have ever had joining me for the challenge. You guys are all doing an amazing job, and you guys, we pretty much made it. Like, the challenge is all but complete. So amazing job. If you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you are not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you so much to everyone who is doing the challenge with me. If you're not doing the challenge, please remember that it is not too late to join. It is never too late to join. Do the last 2 days of the challenge with me. Why not? But if you do want to go back to the beginning and start the challenge on day 1, that is amazing and recommended. So remember to save the playlist. Start by watching that day 1 video, and then as soon as you decide you're ready to begin the challenge, just make sure that you start with that day 1 workout on a Wednesday. As long as you start with your day 1 workout on any given Wednesday, all you have to do is follow along with the playlist and everything will fall into place for you. I have made it super easy to follow along, but of course, if you have any questions about the challenge and how it works, why we're doing it, if you're not quite sure how you can participate in a way that works for you, or you don't know where to begin, please remember that I am right here. I am not only doing the challenge with you, I'm not just working out along with you every single day, but I am also here to answer questions and provide guidance. I am here to support you and encourage you every step of the way. I am here to help motivate you, anything you need, okay? So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. One final reminder that if anything is unclear about the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, if the format of today's workout isn't working for you and you need help kind of restructuring things, if you have questions about the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, since we were using equipment today, or beginner modifications, since I didn't have time to go into beginner modifications as much in depth as I normally do and as I would have liked to, please just remember that I am always here to help. So please reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. That is going to do it for today. I will see you all right back here tomorrow for day 40. Bye.